Well, here we are with another episode of the Market Value Chart Show, Market Outlook Edition. We have a lot going on within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. We're going to go ahead and dive into that within this episode. Also, it's Attack of the Clones, baby. Let's dive into it right now. Alright, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at Sixth Scale Cantina. So there's a whole lot going on within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. There has been so much to discuss lately when it comes to Hot Toys and Star Wars. I feel like we haven't touched on it within a couple of weeks. But we're certainly going to do that within this episode. And once we finish with SixthScaleCantina.com, going over what's new within the biggest mover section, and also what's trending up and trending down within the market value chart, we're going to head on over to Sideshow, and we're going to go over what could be potential upcoming releases that can go on waitlist very, very quickly, or perhaps even before they ever reach in stock at Sideshow. We're also going to go ahead and take a look at some of those figures that are up for pre-order right now. And is there a possibility that some of them can be released early, just like the 501st just was here? We're going to go ahead and dive into that as well. But first, I will be live again this coming Sunday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern with Aries Tarrington is live and raw. I absolutely have loved the first two live and raws that we have done, and I am so looking forward to doing that again with all of you as the panel and me all by my lonesome. Again, this coming Sunday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Is it possible I may have a special guest or two? You're going to have to tune on in to see about that. I'm also going to be live here this coming Friday. Remember, it's Dante's turn this Friday from the Manahawk Collectibles. Check me out on that show at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then I will be live with the Market Value Chart Show with the full panel July 16th, and I'll be announcing the special guests on the panel for that show soon, so book that on your calendars as well. So without further ado, baby, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys, because it's been very, very interesting. So going ahead and pulling up on the screen, there it is, SixthScaleCantina.com. And if you don't have this bookmarked, you go ahead and do that, because it's a great handy tool to give you all the latest updates, not only with what's going on the YouTube channel, but with Star Wars Hot Toys in general. And let's go ahead and move down to the biggest mover section, and let us see what is going on. So, right off the bat, you can see right here on the screen, we have Luke, Return of the Jedi, Jedi Master, up on top. Wow. So I will tell you that Luke is very, very hot right now within the secondary market for Star Wars. And you have to wonder if collectors are really, really, really pumped up or really, really anticipating a forthcoming Luke Skywalker from the Mandalorian Season 2. Now, I do believe that figure, that release, is coming much quicker than many of us expect. So I'm going to make a call here right now on that figure. Just like I made the call with the Ahsoka Tano from the Mandalorian series that was released much earlier than many others have anticipated. I'm going to make the same call here. you're going to see this Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian. I believe it's going to be officially announced this summer. We're going to certainly have to keep an eye on it, but that is my call. Anyway, what's going on with this Luke Jedi Master? Let's go ahead and pull up some data. So stoked to be doing this again, because I feel like we haven't done it, at least in a couple of weeks. There's been so many things to talk about. And let's pull up some Luke stuff here and see what is going on there. So pulling up this recent, let's pull this up. You can see right back here, just from June 25th, the end of June. Wow, 11 bids, $485 with $20, not including the $20 expedited shipping and not including taxes. And while the feedback is 100% perfect, and it's pretty good with 18, that is not knocking the doors out. Is it possible? If this seller had a feedback of 50 or more or 100 or more, that this would have went more than $485? And I say, yes, I believe it is. The market value chart is showing more times than not that this action figure is selling in the high $400 tier range and in the $500 tier range. And I'm telling you right now, people are very, very excited about a forthcoming Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian Season 2. And you have to wonder, is it possible that these figures will go way down and tank once Hot Toys officially announces a Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian Season 2? And I think that there are some variables we have to consider when thinking about that. It'll be very interesting to see. And while the figures the Luke from The Mandalorian Season 2 is similar to the Return of the Jedi Luke. It is a 5 years older Luke, and it's not exactly the Return of the Jedi Luke. So, just like you'll get a Stormtrooper release from The Mandalorian, or one of these Stormtrooper releases that are very, very close to the original A New Hope Stormtrooper release, it's not actually the A New Hope release. And you don't see much of a difference with those figures within the secondary market just because they're coming out with different renditions. Now, taking case in point, the Death Troopers, the Mandalorian Death Trooper got released, and the Death Trooper Specialist and the other Death Troopers from Rogue One have not taken any hit. Actually, as a matter of fact, those have gone up. So you have to wonder, what's going to happen with the Return of the Jedi Lukes, whether it's the Endor version or the aforementioned Jedi Master version. And while there is some conversation of some people, some collectors, not being too crazy about the head sculpt on those figures, personally, I actually think that they're very good. And I don't think it's going to affect it all too much. I'm pulling up at the biggest mover section once again. You can see that in the column below, Luke Jedi Master, you see Luke Endor Deluxe. And that figure as well has been just trending up and up again. Both of these Lukes are trending very, very high within the secondary market for sure. And, pulling these up on the screen, and you're going to see some Farm Boy Luke, and you're going to see my Endor Luke Jedi Master that I have up here on the screen as well. I really think that is a quite stunning figure by Hot Toys. And commercially produced figures, I don't know where you're going to get a better Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker than what you see from Hot Toys, at least commercially produced wise. And I'm not sure how exactly it's going to be affected. I think it could be affected somewhat, but I don't think it's going to be affected as much as we think at this point. I expect this Luke Jedi Master maybe take a little bit of a hit, and maybe not. And certainly going back to the screen here, and you can see right below my picture, you see the Luke Jedi Master, and then you see right below that the Luke Endor Deluxe. That figure was trending high. I've mentioned it many times, way before we even knew Luke was going to show up in the Mandalorian Season 2 finale. Quite frankly, way before the Season 2 of The Mandalorian ever, the first episode, debuted. So that was trending $430 to $450. So that's set right there with the two head sculpts. That's, pushing into the high $500 tier range is not a surprise to me. We'll have to certainly keep an eye on it for sure. And exactly where are these two figures sitting? Once we get to the market value chart segment of this episode, we'll go ahead and see exactly where those two are. Now look what's back on the biggest mover section, and all the way up on top. You can see DX18, the Solo Maul. And let's pull up some data on the Solo Maul, because that figure, and I knew it a long time ago, that this figure was going to be a very, very highly sought out figure. And let's pull up something recent on the Solo Maul. Back from July 2nd, $390 with 20 bids, not including the $17.60 in shipping, not including taxes. Well over $400 for this figure. And I am continually seeing this figure trend up higher and higher. And is it possible that this DX18 is going to hit the $400 tier range? And I say yes. I really, really think it's going to. And I have forewarned in many of my episodes in the past that both this DX18 and the DX16 without the speeder bike are both going to be eventual $400 tier range figures. And it's looking like before this year is over that both the DX16 and this DX18 right here are both going to be $400 tier range figures. And you have to wonder, what does this mean for the forthcoming Clone Wars release of Darth Maul? And we're going to be getting into it's Attack of the Clones, baby, for sure. We're absolutely going to be getting into some of these Clone Wars releases that are forthcoming later on this year from Sideshow, a little bit later in this episode. But you have to wonder what's going to go on with that Clone Wars Maul. And I'm here to tell you that that figure, I believe, with everything that has been trending and in the past and everything that I could put my finger on, that the Clone Wars Maul is going to be eventually right where the DX18 is and right where the DX16 is. So it'll be a slow rise, but once it gets there, they'll all be fairly close to one another. So right now, it's kind of expensive to go ahead and try and pick up a Darth Maul within the secondary market. You may want to consider, if you're looking for a Maul, that Clone Wars Maul. We're going to be taking a look at that a little bit later within this episode, but that is a really, really good price. And with some of the things that figure comes with, you don't just have to display it like it's necessarily a Clone Wars Maul. Certainly with the hood, you could do some certain things, and then you can easily find a cape out within the secondary market or in the aftermarket. If you wanted to kind of dress them up with the whole cloak thing like he had on Tatooine in the Phantom Menace, there's certainly ways, inexpensive ways, that you can go ahead and use a Clone Wars Maul to fill in the void in your collection for Darth Maul. But that figure is not going to be any more or any less valuable than the other two. I believe that it'll be right there, right with it. So let's go ahead and actually go back to the biggest mover section. And actually see what else is going on. And scrolling down, you can see next to Maul, well, you've got the vintage color Fett. The vintage color 40th Fett is really, really starting to hit fire at this point. Is it possible that this figure will be a $400 tier range figure before the end of this year? And I say yes, it absolutely will. And I believe that by the end of the year of 2022, that this will be in the $500 tier range and eventually will be a $600 tier range figure, much like its counterpart, the animated Boba Fett, for sure. So certainly something to keep an eye on as we are keeping track of the vintage color Boba Fett. Let's continue to move down this list. And you can see Luke Endor Deluxe. We already talked about that. The Darth Vader Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary is a figure that is really, really hot right now. And I forewarned about that. That figure was going to perform much like the Attack of the Clones Yoda, which is a straight reissue. And basically that's what this is, besides the 40th anniversary packaging. A straight reissue. And this is another figure that I believe before the end of the year will be a $400 tier range figure once again for sure. We're certainly going to have to keep an eye on it. But going back to the vintage color Boba Fett, let's actually pull up on the screen an instant sale. I would actually show you something. So here's something where patience comes into play. I saw this listing on July 1st for a Hot Toys Star Wars Boba Fett Vintage Color 6th Scale, MMS 571. And it was a buy instantly for $300. And I said to myself, this figure is going to sell within an hour or two. That is an absolutely ridiculous steal, especially on eBay. And to not my surprise, within a couple of hours, that thing was gone. Absolutely gone. So sometimes when sellers are just looking for money very, very quickly, and I'm sure that seller knew that putting that up for $300, that thing was going to go before he or she went to sleep that night. If you have patience and you enjoy the hunt, scan eBay and scan the various buy-sell groups that are on Facebook and whatnot. Because sometimes you get deals like this. That might mean that you might have to wait a whole year to get that Chirrut Imwe, or to get that Jyn Erso, or to get that A New Hope Obi-Wan, and sometimes more than a year, a couple years, a few years. But if you have the intestinal fortitude, as Gorilla Monsoon used to say, in the WWF, baby, if you have that patience, you can score these sometimes for really, really good prices. Again, putting that back up onto the screen, I knew that was going to be gone almost instantly, and it was, because those are not selling that cheap at all. And that's not even including the $25 in shipping or taxes. So that's something to keep in mind with that too. But we're going to see exactly where this vintage color Boba Fett is sitting within the market value chart in just a little bit. But let's continue to go through the biggest mover section and see some other things that are going on. Look at the Emperor. The Emperor continues to be a very, very highly sought out after figure. There was a time about a month and a half ago, or maybe a couple of months ago, where this trended down for a little bit, for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then it was shot right back up, and I was pretty much expecting it to do so. Let's just pull up a recent Emperor. There's so many of these forever and a day. It's always selling within the $600 tier range, but you can look back right over here, and this basically sold for $612. Why am I saying that? Well, yeah, it sold for $569 with 31 bids, but there's $77 in shipping. And that's another thing to keep an eye on too. So this should really be about $30, $35 in shipping. So when you add that to it, it's just sold for about 612. When you see something that's really cheap on eBay or on any of these your buy sell groups, sometimes it can be. Sometimes if it's too good to be true, sometimes that is your answer, and sometimes it's a simple answer is, oh, you're just assuming that they're charging $20 or $30 in shipping, not $70 or $80 or $100 in shipping. I was looking at something the other day, honestly, and I was like, wow, I'm going to be able to scoop this up, and then the shipping was like outrageous. Yeah, I was actually looking at a company online. Many of you may even know what I'm talking about, but I was going to buy a Jyn Erso or a Chirrut Imwe. I was like, wow, this is a pretty good deal. But then the shipping was over $100, and I'm like, okay, it's not that good of a deal. So really, what's it really going for? There you go. Crazy. All right, let's move down from the Emperor, see what else is going on. The Jet Trooper. I brought these up before. The Jet Trooper, the Sith Jet Trooper, and the Jet Trooper are both trending down. And they're not even out of stock yet. That is so interesting. And you have to wonder, is there going to be some kind of like free shipping eventually, or some kind of coupon code to go with those Jet Troopers like there was with the Last Jedi, hobo outfit Luke Skywalker that they used to have? And I say maybe, who knows? But they're I don't even know what those deals, if that's gonna, you could probably get it within the secondary market for cheaper than what you're gonna get when that happens, if that happens. Something definitely we're gonna have to keep an eye on for sure. There's your Boba Fett Return of the Jedi regular and deluxe. So let me tell you something about some of these figures we're going to be going through here. The Return of the Jedi Boba Fett is not selling very high right now. So I want to go ahead and point that out. It is absolutely not selling high right now. If you're in the market for a Return of the Jedi Fett, this may be the time where you should take a look and see what is out there. Because I am telling you right now that that figure, both the deluxe and non-deluxe, you could find pretty easily right now in the $300 tier range. But I could tell you that it won't last forever. Now, I'm trying to find if I have any recent data on that. And I don't actually think I have anything. Well, actually, I do. Let me pull this up on the screen. I do have something. So you could look back here, and here is a deluxe edition with the Sarlacc pit. 10 bits. $359.89. Are you kidding me? Wow. Not including the $13, pretty cheap shipping. Not including taxes. If you're looking for a Return of the Jedi Fett, now may be the time, depending on what your budget is for secondary market figures, and what, if you have any type of parameters that you are willing to go in when it comes to that. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and point that out. But it will absolutely not. It will absolutely not stay there forever, for sure. They're going to go back up into the $400 tier range. And as we inch forward to the Book of Boba Fett, everything Boba Fett is going to go up. Right now, what you're dealing with Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, you still have, for the immediate moment, the Empire Strikes Back Deluxe Boba Fett in the 40th anniversary packaging at stock in Sideshow. And for that price, that's what collectors are jumping on right now. Whether it's collectors that have been looking for a Boba Fett or new collectors that are coming into Hot Toys, for Star Wars. Absolutely. Instead of paying $400 or $500 for Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, let's go ahead and pay $285 or whatever it is for the Empire Strikes Back one. But rest assured that once that goes on waitlist, that Return of the Jedi Boba Fett is going to hit a complete different way, for sure. Going back to this list, you can see that the Last Jedi Ray is starting to catch fire, and it's very, very interesting. So is the Rey Resistance, and so is the Rey, especially the Rey BB-8 and set, and the Rey of the Last Jedi. You know, pulling that up here on the screen. You know, there's from June 27th, $335 with 21 bits, not including the $45 in standard shipping. So basically, this sold for $355. That's what this went for. $355, not including the $25 in standard shipping, not including taxes. Wow. Again, pay attention to that shipping. Oh, I got the Rey figure for $335. No, you didn't. You got it for $355. Because $45 standard shipping within the United States is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, Rey, everything Rey right now. There's a lot of buzz for it. A lot of buzz for it. And even when you pull up a Resistance Rey, let's pull that up on the screen. Actually, here's one that sold $276, not including the $20.40 shipping, not including taxes, back late in the month of June. And that's well over $300 all in to get a Rey Resistance figure. So very, very interesting with that figure right now, for sure. Let's go back to the biggest mover section and see what else is going on. So Rey's going up. Obi-Wan Revenge of the Sith. I don't even know what to tell you about this in particular figure. But except for the fact that it is on fire. And I really hope that they come out very quickly with that Clone Wars General Kenobi, which I actually think that they're going to do. But that figure is really, really highly sought after. And, you know, pulling that up on the screen, this figure is sick. And honestly, I heard, you know, reading back on some reviews, or, you know, supposedly people were, you know, you know, maybe some controversy with the head sculpt. I think this head sculpt is amazing. You know, what commercial company is going to make Ewan McGregor likeness like that? I mean, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I love this figure, and I'm so grateful that I was able to get it for a really, really good deal some time ago, you know, earlier last year. But this figure now, both the deluxe version is pushing the $600 tier range, and the non-deluxe version is pushing the $500 tier range. And it's a bit crazy. The Clone Wars Kenobi will certainly fill the void for some collectors. Not all of them, but for some. Certainly the Clone Wars Anakin is going to fill the void for me for the regular version of Anakin from Revenge of the Sith that I don't have. I really don't care that he has, you know, more of a Clone Wars outfit on. That'll be more than enough for me to do that. And as far as getting another robe, another Anakin Skywalker robe or something like that, I can use Qui-Gon's or that. I can get a Jedi robe and put it over the Clone Wars Anakin and be more than fine. And there's Anakin from Revenge of the Sith for me, baby. And I think for some of you out there that are looking, you know, have some patience with that Clone Wars Kenobi. Because, you know, I did hear a rumor that it could be later, you know, after the Anakin is going to be released. So we're going to be getting into that, because I think that the Anakin's going to get released very, very quickly, actually, and much earlier this year than what we're anticipating. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I actually think that this Clone Wars Kenobi could possibly be coming before summer's end, officially announced. We'll have to keep an eye on it, for sure. Let's go ahead and go back to the biggest movers section. So, yeah, take a look at some of that. R2 on the move. Cody. Cody's gone up a very tiny bit. He's inched up a little bit too. Boy, that should tell you the story on what's going to happen with Rex, folks. I'm being real honest with you there, but you know, I'm going to pull up a bunch of stuff. R2 is hot. Let's go ahead and I'm going to pull up some Cody listings. I'm going to pull up some stuff on Cody. I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff. So $499.99. There's 11 sold now. Completely sold out. Reputable seller. Let's go to more Cody listings and let's see what this thing's going for. So right here, make an offer, good seller, great feedback, $459.95. Again, another U.S. seller, free shipping. Let's go to another Cody listing. $399, not including the $39.99 in shipping. So $40 in shipping. So basically $420, $419.98 is what this is going for. Another, seller with perfect feedback. Let's go to another listing. And pulling this up on the screen, $420, not including the $25 in economy shipping and not including taxes. Already 10 people watching it. A lot of people watching this. This where this figure is heading, to the $420, $425 tier range, real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Let's go to another Cody listing. A very, very reputable seller. Hawk Wars Toys. 100% feedback. Well over 1,000. $425. And this already has 7 watchers. And, with this seller right here is usually, right on the mark, just like those other sellers, and pretty much where the pulse of where the market is. And that's what you're seeing with this figure. Exactly where is it sitting? It's in the low 400s. It moved up a buck or two in the market value chart. We'll take a look at it. But this did not bounce around like the Remnant Trooper did. Like the OG Mando did. Like some other figures that recently went high and down. This has been very, very, very steady. This has been a very, very steady figure within the secondary market. Once it hit $350, and the week later it hit close to the $400 tier range and hit the $400 tier range, it has stayed there. And you have to wonder, what does this mean for Captain Rex? Is it possible that Captain Rex, as soon as that goes on waitlist, is going to be immediately a $400 tier range figure? And I say yes. I really, really believe that it will be. I think in many cases, Rex could possibly be even more sought after than Cody is. But those two kind of go hand in hand. And I'm telling you right now, the buzz of that Rex, once it starts, once those final production photos comes out, and you're going to see a bump in the Cody. And that's where he's going to really hit into the 420 or so range. And then once it starts shipping from Sideshow and, some of those sellers, it's going to go up even higher. And as soon as it goes on waitlist, that is going to be basically where Cody is within the secondary market instantly. And you have to go ahead and look at some of these other past clone releases from Sideshow back in the day and how well they do and still do within the secondary market. And I'm telling you right now, that Rex figure is most probably going to get in stock now because it was pushed out. But make no mistake, it's not sitting in stock for 3 months. It's not sitting in stock for 2 months. If that thing sits in stock for more than a month, I would be shocked. And is it possible that it could actually still hit waitlist before it ever actually gets in stock? It is very, very, very slow. But I don't think it's going to happen. This is a very, very highly sought after figure. And you want to see the buzz once they go ahead and release the final production photos for that figure? You think there's a buzz right now for the 501st? You have not seen anything yet until you see Rex, baby. I am telling you. But yeah, we're going to take a look exactly where this is sitting at, for sure. Let's go back to the biggest movers section at sixthscalecantina.com. Again, don't forget to bookmark sixthscalecantina.com, www.sixthscalecantina.com, for all your latest Star Wars secondary market and all Star Wars Hot Toys news. Moving down, Jyn Erso. Jyn Erso is hot again. You know, the Jyn Erso Deluxe, dipped down a little bit. Now it's trending up again. Very highly sought out after figure. The Royal Guards trended down. And now the Royal Guards are trending up, much like I thought that they were going to do. Let's pull up some recent Royal Guard data, what I have on this. So you can see back from June 25th, $339.71 with 38 bids. Great feedback. 990, all positive. The U.S. shipping is $63, so basically tack $30 on this. So basically $370 is what this went for. Let's go to another one. I love this shipping stuff. Let's go to another one. Royal Guard. And here's one here, $385.30 US, not including the $64.57 in shipping. So go ahead and add $30 to that. So yeah, about $415 for this Royal Guard, not including $35 in shipping, not including taxes. Wow. That is absolutely crazy, but they are trending up again, right along with the Emperor, who they guard, which I think the Emperor probably guards them. Don't you think? Wow, wow, wow. Shock Trooper. Yeah, that's Shock Trooper. $343 and rising up. I think I got something on there to show you on this before we move to the last segment of this show at Sideshow. Yeah, you can see back here, just back from July 2nd, $355 for this Shock Trooper with 35 bits. Look at that feedback. Over 1,500, all 100% positive, $355, not including the $20 in shipping, not including taxes. Wow. And you have to wonder, are more video game characters, like we talked about on my last live show, when we talk about Darth Revan, or even something like a Darth Malgus, or a Cal Kestis, or a character such as that, is it possible that we're going to get more of these VGM releases from Hot Toys? And I say yes. I'm telling you right now, you're seeing where this is going, this Shock Trooper, within the secondary market. Can you go ahead and put a finger on where Darth Revan would go? My goodness gracious. I'm telling you right now, this stuff sells. And there are a lot of collectors coming over from other toy lines, from other, toy manufacturing lines that collect Star Wars, that are discovering Hot Toys for the very first time. And they're discovering when we are post The Last Jedi, post the sequels, where everything is much hotter and going to continue to stay hot. Very, very interesting. I think you got a lot of that stuff that is forthcoming for sure. So let's go ahead and go to the last segment of this episode of the Market Value Chart Show, this Market Outlook Edition. And as we do with every Market Outlook Edition, we're going to go to, in the last segment, we're going to go to Sideshow, and we're going to sort everything out best-selling wise. Now, as this is sorting out, I will tell you that not only did I include Star Wars, I included everything Marvel, and everything DC for Hot Toys best-selling wise. So you're going to see it all. I also included, because I like to include that lately, all action figures, not statues, action figures from Sideshow. So that's what you got on this list. Okay? Well, you can see right up on the list right there. Look at what's number 1 and number 2. So, number 1 and number 2 is your chrome-plated Mandalorian, deluxe and non-deluxe. If you're wondering how people feel about the chrome plating, I think they feel pretty good, because that's where this is selling. Same thing about clones. You're wondering how Hunter's doing? Take a look at where Hunter still is. And when you scroll down this list, and the reason I mixed it in, I mean, this this white Black Widow outfit figure is absolutely phenomenal. But the Star Wars is killing it. It's killing it. It's just, it's selling way beyond it. And really, look at what's right here. The Beskar Mandalorians. And they're also selling better than the big movie release, whether it's Taskmaster or Black Widow from Marvel. You have to wonder how hot Star Wars, how hot the Mandalorian is. There was some initial thoughts, say bye-bye to the Beskar Mandalorians. Everyone's going to lose on that. And I say no. These are selling. They're not going to sit in stock for forever and a day either, because people want their Mandalorians. And you can see right here, with some time that has passed since the release of the chrome-plated Mandalorian, where these Beskar Mandalorians are sitting. And they're sitting high. And they're sitting pretty, baby, because they are selling, whether it's deluxe or non-deluxe. That should be very, very telling. You've got 4 Mandalorians in the top 8. You got 4 Din Djarins in the top 8. When you include everything, Marvel and DC, that should tell you something. You also got 3 clones right now in the top 8. You got Hunter, you got 501st, deluxe and non-deluxe. That should tell you something as well. Let's continue to look down. There's Loki. There's the White Vision. This should tell you right there with this White Vision, they're going to come out with the white prototype of Boba Fett. That's coming. They did so well with the animated Boba Fett, especially during times where Star Wars was going through what it did. And the vintage color Boba Fett as well. I think you're going to get an all-white original prototype Boba Fett as well. But look, I mean, these shows are hot on Disney Plus. You got the movie, you got the Loki, and cannot touch the Mandalorian. Can't even touch the Beskar Mandalorians. Very, very interesting. That's why I put them up on here to show you. Oh, look, there's another clone. There's Rex. Look, even got his swoop bike in the top 10. Interesting. Let's continue to scroll down. All right, there's your Captain America. There's some Spider-Mans. There's your Taskmaster. There's Echo. Yeah, it's kind of showing this to you here. Very, very interesting. Look, there's Grievous. Boy, I cannot wait to get this. I cannot wait to get this Grievous figure, to be completely honest with you. I love it. I watched the Unsealed and Revealed, and I actually recently watched it again. And I love how they answered that they did, upgrade and re-engineer and made the joints better. And I love the way that they also, upgraded the paint apps. And obviously they give you the cape. Everything on this figure is better than when it originally was. And I don't know how long we would have to wait for a Hot Toys Grievous, even if they announced it tomorrow. I think it would be quite a long wait. And this is a great figure and not a waste of money for me. And because I could always display a Grievous in my Clone Wars collection, and then an area of my collection, and display a Grievous in my prequels collection as well. So having a couple of Grievouses, no big deal. Cannot wait to get this figure. I was actually really impressed with that unsealed and revealed, and actually was more impressed the second time around when I went through that. But anyway, yeah, just kind of wanted to show you what we were looking at there with the OG Mandalorian. So now let me go ahead and actually get Marvel out of here. And let me go ahead and get DC out of here. Okay, and now we just got Star Wars, including Sideshow. So there you go. Let's take a look at what is in danger of hitting waitlist, or can hit waitlist very, very fast, real quick, fast, in a hurry. And here are my thoughts. So, the 501st Battalion Clone Trooper, the deluxe or non-deluxe. I'm going to tell you right now on this particular figure. This is probably one of the most highly sought after troopers in a very, very long time. Maybe ever. And you see how the Remnant Trooper went, and how the Incinerator Trooper went, and how the Death Trooper went. And I'm telling you right now that you might as well multiply this by 2 as to how highly sought after this is going to be. I do not believe that this Clone Trooper, this 501st, is going to sit in stock for as long as a Remnant Trooper, for as long as the Death Trooper, for as long as the Incinerator Trooper. And if that is the case, then it's absolutely not going to be in stock for 3 months. I don't even think it's going to be in stock for more than a month when it gets in stock. If it gets in stock. And why am I pointing that out? The word if. Because you have to wonder, with the amount of buzz and the amount of excitement right now from the final production photos and the reviews of this particular 501st Trooper. Look, I watched the Man of Hot Collectibles review, and he actually gave this a 9.5 out of 10. And he dared say that this is perhaps the best Trooper from Hot Toys that he's ever seen. And from looking at that video, and from looking at everything else that I've seen, I'd have to agree, from not having one in hand yet. This thing looks sick. And you have to wonder how many people are going to be picking up 4, 6, 8, even more of these. And I just think it's going to be more sought after than some of the recent Mandalorian Troopers, which are pretty highly sought after. And I would not, if you plan on getting one of these, think it's going to sit in stock for, a few months like those did. I'm actually seeing where this could move very, very fast. And at a time where people are like, hey, I got so many pre-orders out there. Can I get releases? Even though we've had 19, 20 releases now in less than a year, which I've already put a video out about that, which is more than enough than I can handle. Okay? But you got some people feeling that way? And this is an actual phenomenal release? Is it possible that this doesn't even make it in stock because there's just so many pre-orders that they got to fill? And I don't know. I'm not giving it a yellow alert or a red alert. I'm giving it kind of a, I don't know, an awareness sticker. and certainly not going to be in stock for very long. Don't be too nonchalant with these. Just saying. Just saying. Let's continue to scroll down. Everybody's thinking that these Beskar Mandalorians are going to be in here for as long as the Jet Troopers. Well, if they were all the way down this list where the Jet Troopers were, I probably would agree with them. But since they're not even on this page, I totally disagree. I actually think that these will be in stock for a while. They will be in stock for a while. But They're not going to still be in stock by the end of the year. These will be gone. You heard it here first at Sixth Scale Cantina. I don't even have to call the Hot Toys Wizard to confirm that for you. These are selling and people want them. Rex. So let's talk about Rex. They delayed it. And apparently with some QA issues. And I had it on yellow alert. I took it off, if you realize, last month off of yellow alert. Now, I'm kind of putting this back on yellow alert. And let me take a sip of this so I can undry my throat to tell you what. The 501st is going insanely berserk. And Rex is going to double that. Rex will never sit in stock for as long as Cody. And let me just tell you right here, right now, look at this logically. They're not making 20,000 in the US of these like they did the Beskar Mandalorians. You heard it here from the Dark Jedi Aries character who serves up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk and serves up all the Star Wars Hot Toys logic when it comes up to stuff like this. They're not making anywhere near as many Rex as they did Mando, for sure, okay? And you see where the 501st is going? I am now officially putting this back on yellow alert. Do not sit on this figure. Is it possible that this could actually hit waitlist before it ever gets in stock? And I say yes. Keep your eye on it. Does that mean you have to get it? Oh, but I don't really like Rex. Then don't get it. That's like someone talking about, Gamora or Iron Man Mark this one, or, this. I don't collect those, so I don't care if it's going to hit wait like 5 minutes before it hits waitlist. I'm not buying it. Again, if you plan on getting these figures, though, this is why you don't fall for the hype. You follow the hype. I've been saying that since I came on the air here. I'm probably going to have to say it forever. But I'm telling you, if you plan on getting a Rex, you plan on getting a 501st, and the Rex is going to be more sought after than that, be prepared. Be prepared. Boba Fett. Very surprised that this is actually still in stock. However, you have to wonder, is it possible that very soon, like any second, that this is going to hit waitlist? And I say yes. So, if you still don't have a Boba Fett, and you're just thinking this is going to be in stock and you're going to get it for yourself at Christmas, you're going to be very sad, because when holidays come along, this will already be on waitlist and already be a $400 figure within the secondary market when you watch one of my shows like this. Just saying. Let's continue to scroll down. Clone Wars Ahsoka. Clone Wars Ahsoka. So, I mentioned that it's Attack of the Clones because just like the 501st was released earlier, I'm telling you right now that this Ahsoka figure, for sure, is absolutely 1,000% going to get issued, released, final production photos way sooner than expected. Now, if you follow the network that I'm in, I'm sure you've listened to some of the insider information that, there's probably some QA issues right now with some of the head sculpts for likenesses of actors. There's no likeness with this. No likeness at all. This is something where they're able to put this out to look like this, where it doesn't really, it's not a replica of Rosario Dawson at this age. It doesn't need to be. So as long as it looks something like this, they're going to come out with this, and I project that this figure on the heels of the 501st is coming any day. Just saying. Let's go back and see what else. And what's the potential on this? Are they going to be making so many of these that, you know, it just sits in stock forever? I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to ask yourself, like, does Ahsoka go with Rex? And does Ahsoka go with the 501st? And if you come to the conclusion that it does, and people are just going to buy all these 501sts, and they're going to buy Rex, and they're going to be like, oh, I'll wait for the Rosario Dawson 20 years later, or whatever it is, Ahsoka. I think you're wrong. I think that this is going to sell very, very quickly. And I don't think that they're making as many of these as they originally thought. I brought that up in many episodes in the past because of the Mandalorian Ahsoka. And I think when you mix the two in together, I think that there's going to be very little overstock after pre-orders on this figure. And I don't think that this will be in stock very, very long at all. There's Grievous again. You don't have to worry about Grievous. Not a hot toy. They'll make as many of these as that Grogu statue that they have. You can get this probably as long as getting C-3PO. But, you know, I still can't wait to get the figure. I'm not buying that figure for worrying about what the resale of it is. Can't wait to get the Grievous. Let's talk about Kylo and Rey. Kylo and Rey. So it's taken forever after the reviews for some of these figures. You know, even the Scout Trooper and Speeder Bike, these are all starting to ship now. But it took a long time. And these were all pretty high up, especially the Rey. I mean, the Rey went really, 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 really high up. And it was like number 2. It was almost at number 1 for... It actually was at number 1. Pre-order-wise, it was at number 1 for a whole week. Just going back like 3 weeks ago, Rey was number 1. There's a lot of those that have sold already. It's already completely sold out in Hong Kong. You know, these both red alerts. You know, whether it actually gets in stock at Sideshow remains to be seen. I think it's possible that it won't. I think it's possible that it will. I think if it does, it is certainly not going to be in stock for very long. I would say less than a month. And if it's in stock as long as a Remnant Trooper was, as long as the Incinerator Trooper was, as long as the Death Trooper was, that's fine. As soon as they go out of stock, they're going to go right where their counterparts are. And they're both superior figures for all intents and purposes to those other figures that are pushing $400 and beyond in the secondary market. These both will absolutely be $400 tier range figures, especially these two Rise of Skywalker's ones. Way more than the Last Jedi ones are going to be. So I would not sleep on those figures if you're going to get it. There is also very, 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 very low amounts of these that are going to... If you thought there was a low amount of the Mud Trooper, you could think the same thing. It will remain to see if they get in stock. Same thing with the Scout Trooper and Speeder Bike. Yellow alert on that one. We'll see how many, you know, we'll see. I don't think... We'll have to see. That can go either way. I feel like they needed an unsealed and revealed before they ever came out with the final production photos, because there just wasn't enough of these, and I don't think they made very many of these, and we'll have to see. Put it to you this way. I don't estimate that they made as many of these as they did the life-size Grogu. Just saying. Clone Wars Mall. Should be fine with that one, just like the other malls. We'll get in stock, just like the Solo Mall did. But just like everyone was like, oh, look, the Solo Mall went on waitlist after a couple months. Yeah, that's what's going to happen here at Darth Maul. So just be prepared for it. Once it gets in stock, I wouldn't wait half a year to get it, because I think you'll be out of luck. But it'll get in stock. Let's continue to go down. IG-11, very interesting with IG-11. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Yellow alert's still on it with this particular figure. I do absolutely think it could hit waitlist before it gets in stock. But if it does get in stock, I think much like again, bringing up the Remnant Trooper, the Incinerator Trooper, the Death Trooper, it'll go. And it's going to be a very highly sought after figure. But I think like the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, that's how I look at this IG-11, to be quite honest with you. Let's continue to go down. So wrapping up the show here, let's take a look. Besides Ahsoka, the Clone Wars Ahsoka, let's actually see what other figures could potentially be released early. Now, we're talking about the Ahsoka. I really believe with the Clone Wars Ahsoka that you're seeing here on the screen that this can be announced sometime this summer, for sure. Final production photos. I think that this is coming out early. Again, they don't have an actual head sculpt that they really have to master in that way. They did a phenomenal job with this. I'm very happy they're going with this head sculpt, and I believe that this is one that they can release earlier than anticipated. Really the same thing with this Maul, this Clone Wars Maul. It's a head sculpt that they really have. They've already came out with a couple of Mauls. This does look similar to the Solo Maul in many regards, whether it is or it isn't. But really with this particular figure and being Darth Maul and with all the paint and his Clone Wars Maul, I totally expect this one to actually have the potential to come out early as well. That's not a head sculpt where I am concerned with. Let's continue to go down. Some of these, the Coruscant Guard, absolutely. To me, that's a no-brainer. I could see that one actually getting officially the final production photos officially coming out very, very quickly as well. The Anakin, they already have a head sculpt on this Anakin. So honestly, this Clone Wars Anakin, I can actually see not only this not having to have to wait to the first quarter of 2022 to get this figure, but is it possible that they go ahead and give us this figure earlier this year? And we're going to have to keep an eye on it, but I actually do. There's actually some insider information that that is the case. And again, take that stuff with a grain of salt. But I actually thought that this would be one that they would actually put out anyway, before I even heard that. In the fourth quarter of this year. Is it possible that they could, final production photos could be happening this summer? Or, very early, late summer, early fall? I say yes. Death Watch Mandalorian for sure. For sure. I believe that one could come out earlier as well. That can be a potential for that. Let's continue to go down that list. That's what I see with these Clone Wars ones. I still think, look, I'm going to be honest with you. They came out with the Rey. They came out with the Kylo. I know the Rex had QA issues. I got a gut feeling that Lando Calrissian may be coming earlier than we think. I just do. I just do. I think that one is possible. I think they might blow us away with the Django, with all the Tamora Morrison head sculpts that they're doing. Could you imagine that? And yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe part of the QA issues that they're working on with Rex is maybe they're doing the Django at the same time. Who knows? Nobody really knows, right? I'd love to see that Django come out now. Man, I would spill my coffee. That would be like a whole new... If they came out with Django now or this year, I'd probably... shoot. Yeah, I'd have to brew a coffee, even though that's a Dallas. I'm just waiting forever and a day for it, baby. I'd love this Lando. I would love this Lando in the 40th anniversary packaging. Well, I'll have to say, is it possible? You have to wonder. Yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got for this episode. I hope this was helpful to you. And please go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy the content. And please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I so very much appreciate your support. As I said at the onset of the program, I will be live with Aries Tarrington is live and raw this coming Sunday, July 11th, baby. at 8 p.m. and I'll be serving up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk with all of you on the panel at 8 p.m. Eastern this Sunday. Will I have a special guest that'll pop in? Maybe one or two? You'll have to tune in to find out. But I'm telling you, man, we're going to be live. We're going to have a lot of fun action. You know, Max Rebo is going to be priming up and tuning up the organ, and we're going to be ready to go, baby. I'm also going to be live this Friday. Looking forward to seeing you at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Manahawk Collectibles live show as well. Don't forget about our Facebook. Our Facebook group is phenomenal. I have the link to our Facebook group within the video description below, along with our Instagram. Also, if you like what you watched here today, and you would like some expanded analysis, and you would like some heightened thoughts on some of the topics that I bring up over here, you may want to consider becoming a Cantina Insider, because I put out some short videos on some expanded thoughts, little short videos, and some things of that nature, insider videos. So, on the regular channel, you'll see a little, my channel, just go to my channel, you'll see a little join button, click on it, tells you everything that it comes with. Seems like something you'd be interested in, go ahead and check it out. Don't forget about this Discord group I participate in. I got the link to them within the video description below. They talk up a lot of Hot Toys, great community. Remember, many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. Stay thirsty, my friends.